everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 favorite podcasts. That includes the topics around branding, marketing, copywriting, SEO, etc. etc. And this doesn't involve Christo's The Future podcast. I know everyone already knows about it. So without a further ado, let's dive right into it. Number 1 on my list is Marketing Book Podcast. The host, Douglas Burdett, I think I'm pronouncing it right. The host invites best-selling authors in the podcast and they talk about what they have written in each of the books. The podcast and the books that they choose are the ones which are keeping you aligned with what's working in the market, all about modern marketing, building a brand, and how actually you can accelerate your brand to the next level. It involves topics like breakout brands, why some brands work, why don't, and get to aha moments. Why brand positioning is really important to get to that next level for your branding. Next up we have is Hitting the Mark. This podcast and the host really introduced me to the world of brand strategy. I never thought I would be so fascinated until I have heard the guest come up in one of the Chris Do's show, and where they talked a lot about how brand strategy is important for creating visual identities or building a system for a brand. The discussion on Hitting the Mark are very insightful and knowledgeable. They invite the founders and the leadership team of a successful brand, and they really dive into how they have done something or if they have achieved some milestone for their company or their startup, how they did it, how the process looked like. And they actually really deep dive into the process of creating or building a brand. Sometimes there could be building a right team or coming up with a strategy which is not online, or coming up with the target personas where you are targeting a lot of different people. So they talk about the main aspect of building and creating a brand. Now let's talk about On Strategy Showcase. In this podcast, they really dive right into the case studies of a successful campaign. For example, in one of the episodes, they talked about the Raising the Arches campaign done by McDonald's. There was no product shot, no person consuming a product or any ha-ha dada around the product. Still, industry went nuts around it because they have actually gathered the essence of the whole brand, and they created a campaign which really got a lot of eyeballs around it. The whole podcast is a treasure trove for the planners and the executors or the process makers of the whole campaign. It just gives you a lot more perspective around how these ads have been created and how the stories have been written, how the characters have been designed, and even how the sets are being designed. So it's really interesting to know all of it, what goes behind building those campaigns. Moving on to Think Fast, Think Smart, presented by Stanford University. This is not really just for creatives, but it's very important to listen to these podcasts. These are very tiny, bit-sized, 10 minutes, 15 minutes podcasts where they talk about how you can have a better communication skill or techniques, how you can make small talks to people, how you can actually build your own personality as a professional in the market. Whether you are giving a presentation or wants to have that communication or wants to communicate confidently with other people, this podcast is for you. Now, this is for all the digital marketers or designers who are doing everything digitally. This is hosted by Neil Patel and Eric Sue. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but this is by them, named Marketing School. Each episode provides actionable insights into SEO, into copywriting, into Google Ads. You can level up your creative game and listen to these actionable insights and implement it by just listening to this 10 minutes a day. How you can actually target different audience at different offline stages, different touch points, and how you can present yourself differently to these audience. They investigate how B2B companies or B2C companies take the different marketing routes and what works for what kind of brand. This podcast is a goldmine of tips and tricks for all the marketers and all the startup founders as well. I also want to emphasize on one thing, that these podcasts might not only for visual designers or for copywriters or for marketers, but these podcasts overlaps with a lot of different departments that are working together to build a brand. It's important that you as a branding person or a marketer actually see how the copywriting works or how the SEO is done or how Google Ads work, because it adds a lot of context and a lot of impact in the work that you are doing. So it's very important that you know or gauge knowledge around all these departments that help build a brand or that help create those strategies, those marketing tactics to go into the market, interacting with the target audience. Well, that wraps up the video. If you found this insightful, do let me know, or if you have some questions for me, do let me know in the comments below, and I would like to answer them or create one video out of them. Stay tuned, stay awesome. Until next time, bye bye.